up guys, this is Cody from Motorcycle MD. In this video, we'll be talking about spark plugs. Really there's three things I want to discuss with you guys about. The first two are why you would even change them. Okay, the spark plugs are made of a different metal compared to what they are threaded into, which is the head. Okay, so those two different metals over time can develop some kind of corrosion in the threads themselves. They can actually almost weld themselves in the head. It's pretty crazy. But the second thing is, as spark plugs get used, you know there's that nice little gap that you're supposed to be checking every time you do your spark plugs. Well, that metal there can actually wear itself down. It's an electrical wear, I probably would say. So that gap can increase, and it puts a lot of strain on actually the electrical system in the coils as they output so much voltage over a long period of time. Okay, so those are two reasons why you should be changing them. The third thing is more of something that I want you to look at before you even change them out. So on this bike in particular, the spark plugs are right up on top of the head. Okay, so sometimes on the Cb750s, on the vintage style bikes, they're more up front. Maybe on a Gold Wing, they're enclosed, or a VT750, they're still sitting on some kind of angle. But what I want you guys to see, so if you look down in there, there's actually rocks that have built themselves up around those spark plugs. If you pull that spark plug out, you will drop rocks inside of the cylinder. That's never a good thing. All right, guys, it's never a good thing to have rocks in the cylinder. Before I pull the spark plugs out, what I'll do is use some compressed air. You may not have a compressed air tank, maybe get even an air compressed can from Walmart, but blow it out with air to get the rocks away. Maybe even unthread the spark plugs 1 or 2 turns, just so you can break that seal of rocks that have embedded themselves, heated up, and work their way around the spark plug itself. So unthread it, blow it again, make sure that there's no rocks or debris around it, and then it's safe to take the spark plugs out. Let's say you were grabbing the spark plug wire and it did not come off, and when you were trying to grab it so much force, that wire actually pulls itself out of the plug. Okay, now what do? You're screwed. So go ahead and inside of here, let me show you. So inside of here, there's actually like the head of a screw. Okay, it's very, very thickly threaded, and you can actually screw this right back on to where your wire goes. You don't want to go a bunch of force to try to screw it on, just until it stops, it's nice and tight, and you can go right back on that spark plug. Okay, so don't worry if you pull the wire out. Just be mindful, you really want to grab it as far down on this spark plug cap as you can go. All right, so obviously you need your spark plug socket. They range from different ones. Usually they're around 18mm sockets. Nice extension to get down in there. And of course your ratchet wrench. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take my compressed air and blow out these rocks. Then take my wrench, make sure that I break them loose, maybe 1 or 2 turns. And then we're going to blow it right back out again just to make sure. Of course, you want to protect your eyes. You don't want to throw rocks in your eyeballs. That would ruin this whole venture. So that looks pretty clear to me. I'm going to go ahead and take these spark plugs all the way out. All right, so what we're looking for in the spark plugs as far as reading them, I mean, you gotta remember that spark plugs are the window to your motor. Okay, it tells you exactly what's going on, what's burning, how it's burning, and how much of what it's burning, okay? So usually, this is actually a really good burn. It'd be great to show you this. It's kind of light on that white porcelain. It's black around the edge, which is fine. If you have a really, really dark black spark plug, there's a chance that it's probably either too rich, not enough compression, a bad valve adjustment, or the spark plug is too cold. So I'll put that on another blog that I do about how to read spark plugs, because we're just going to try to change them out just to show you guys some quick tips. But that's something to definitely look into, is to question what's going on with your carburetors or your fuel injection system just by reading what the spark plugs look like. So new spark plugs, all right. Obviously you want to get the correct ones for your bike. NGK, that's all Honda uses for their bikes, okay? You can go with some high Zoot Iridium triple platinum plug, whatever it does. it's probably worthless, to be honest with you. Spark's only going to go to the path of least resistance. So if you have a spark plug with 2 prongs or 4-prong system, it does not matter. I guarantee you it does not matter. So what I like to do with spark plugs is make a nice coating of maybe like a waterproof grease, maybe like a moly or something, to keep that surface of the plug smooth and from corroding inside of the head. That's key, okay? Another one would be checking the gap before you install. Now, a quick cool tip that I like to do with my spark plugs is that when Honda says gap your plugs at this, that's to meet the emissions regulations that are on the bike, okay? So what I like to do is gap them just a slight bit wider, maybe 0.01 millimeter, if that. Put your gap in there, make sure that it is correct with the stock number, give it a little twist to get a little bit more gap, a little bit more spark, a little bit more bang out of the motor, okay? Quick tip, that's just what I do. You don't have to do that, but I think it works great. And we're gonna go ahead and install them. Be careful not to cross thread. You just wanna make sure it goes in nice and smooth. So we'll seat that down until it stops. And then what I do is these spark plugs have a little crush washer right here on the edge. So once that seats in as far as it can go, you can actually turn it again another quarter turn to a half turn, because you got to crush that washer that's there. Only on new plugs. So that stops right there. I'm going to go a quarter turn and then one more, and that's perfect. I wouldn't want to go any tighter than that. One more thing I want to tell you guys is actually a timeline of when this stuff should be done. Spark plugs, 16,000 miles. If you want to go 8, that's fine, half of that, but I would recommend around 16. Every 16,000 miles, I would go ahead and just at least check them, see what they look like. They're sometimes relatively cheap, maybe about $4 a pop, and simple to put in. Just be mindful of those rocks, man. I'm telling you, I've seen some pretty nasty stuff. This goes for any TRX four-wheeler that you may have that gets run through the mud all the time. Check that stuff out, man. Maybe even get a pressure washer and just hose it off before you get started. Be mindful that that was the major thing I wanted you guys to know. Thank you guys so much for checking this out and giving me your time to learn something new. I hope this is helpful. If this was not helpful, contact me, let me know. I would love to help you guys out, pointing you in the direction that you need to go for your bike. This is Cody from Motorcycle MD, giving you quality tips, quality tricks for your next build or your daily rider. See you guys later.